I did start them. They died. If I cover my face, I was a seed math girl. Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia, and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. But today, the backyard is being covered in snow. Today is Monday. Y'all will see this video on Wednesday. But yep, covered in snow. Somebody asked me, did I come and push the snow off the Bootstrap Farmer greenhouse? I absolutely did not. It melted off and it was fine. But yep, we got snow again, y'all. Which is definitely not normal for Virginia, not in December. I know a lot of people are saying they already getting snow, and so it's like, welcome to the rest of the world. Somebody said that on one of their comments. But for us, this is so early, y'all, and I just don't enjoy it. I was out this morning running errands in it because my earrings had broke, and I was like, I cannot be recording and filming without earrings. I'm an earrings girl. Anyway, it's snowing. I'm inside because I'm starting some spring seeds today. And some people may think that it's a little early. For me, I want them to get a good size before it is time to put them out in February. And someone did ask, when do I start my seeds for spring? This year, I'm doing it now. I want them to get about 60 days. I'm a few days late because today is the 8th on getting them started. And most seeds take between like 4 to 7 days to germinate. And then I just want them to get to a nice size. Now, if you're not new here, you know, I absolutely hate potting up, but I'm going to have to pot them up. And that's okay. I'm going to be in the house because I can't possibly be outside that often. Anyway, let us talk about the seeds we're going to start. Then we're going to fill these trays and we're going to start planting seeds. I'm going to tell you why I'm starting each one. I'm not doing the full spread that I do in fall, but I am growing some things that I either want more to preserve or I did not plant in fall. And so we're going to start firstly with my Snapdragon seeds. And so these seeds I saved in 2023. Snapdragons are beautiful flowers. If I could find a picture of some from my garden, I'll put those up. They are beautiful flowers. They're also very cold hardy. I want these to go out in February so that I can have some beautiful flowers in the spring. If you saw my garden walk, the Godzilla broccoli, the 2 or 3 that we have, they are struggling. And so if they do not make it through the winter, I want to try them again. This is from Haas. So I buy seeds from just about anywhere. I'm not very picky. If I see a seed company, I will buy from them. Some of the ones I really do like though is Haas. I like Botanical Interest. I like Baker's Creek. Oh, Mary's Heirloom, really like her. She has a channel here on YouTube. My Local Feed and Seed, Southern Exposure Seeds. There's always just like content creators who are selling seeds from their garden. So if you want to support some of your favorite content creators, check to see if they sell seeds. But okay, back to this. Okay, so if you remember, I have a lot of onions outside. Some of them are short day, some of them are long day, some of them are intermediate day. And that's because I want to know for myself if I can only grow intermediate day onions. So I'm overwintering them, meaning I have them planted out. Hopefully they make it through the winter and then they bulb in the spring. But I'm also going to plant some more onions today, but I'm only planting intermediate day onions and I'm going to plant these in the spring as well. Well, I'm going to plant them in February for a spring harvest. And so the ones I'm doing is Candy Hybrid, Red Pasta, and Flat of Italy. And so these are the ones that I could find that were intermediate day. I haven't had a lot of success with onions, so I can't say that any of these are going to be better than the others. I just want to have some success and know which variety I should be planting. We're also going to do some King Richard leeks. I did not plant any leeks. I started leeks, the leeks died. So we're also going to do, of course, my favorite, Green Magic. The reason why I'm planting more Green Magic is because I want more Green Magic to harvest and preserve. And then, if you remember, I planted my Brussels sprouts in a somewhat shady spot. And so I'm going to plant some more Brussels sprouts. These are from my Local Feed and Seed, so I want to try that variety. I have some Long Island Improved, And I'm also gonna try some Groninger Brussels sprouts. And then the next thing that I'm gonna try is some broccoli rabe. Not try, I have grown it before successfully, but I did not get any into the fall garden. I did start them, they died. So broccoli rabe or broccoli rapini. So let's get this soil into our sale trays. And while I do that, I wanna tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Ritual. And thank you, Ritual, for sponsoring this video. So if you've never heard of Ritual, Ritual's products are made traceable, meaning they tell you where all of their ingredients come from, why they're there, and how their products are validated. I am currently taking 2 of Ritual's products. I am taking the Essentials for Women 18+, and I'm also taking the Essentials Protein 18+. It's been very easy for me to incorporate both products into my routine. I use the Essentials Protein 18+ to support muscle recovery once I get off of the treadmill, and I use the Essential Women's 18+ with or without food every day because it's very easy on my stomach. The Essential Women's 18+ uses patented capsules to combine oily and dry ingredients in the same capsule so that I can take my folate and my vitamin D all at one time. They're also third-party tested, vegan-friendly, non-GMO, gluten-free, and formulated without major allergens. I simply take 2 mint essence tablets every day. And I've been taking protein for years, but I like that the Essentials Protein 18+ is formulated without stevia, no sugar, sugar alcohols, artificial flavors, or sweeteners. It's actually the first protein of its kind that is sweetened with a combination of sugarcane and monk fruit. And I don't really like monk fruit, y'all, but I don't actually even taste it. So that's another reason why I really like it. The protein is made traceable with pea protein derived from regeneratively farmed peas in the USA. And they also keep it simple, down to just 10 premium ingredients. I use 1 scoop daily to make a smooth tasting protein shake. So if you haven't heard of Ritual, but you are looking for a traceable, vegan-friendly, non-GMO, gluten-free supplement, check out the link down in my description. If you use my link and my code YDUH25, you can get 25% off your first order. And thank you again to Ritual for making it easy to stay on my routine and for sponsoring this video. All right, so we are on to our last tray. And let me tell you what kind of soil I'm using. And y'all, when I told y'all what this soil was the last time and how much I paid for, y'all was in them comments like, no ma'am, I won't be doing it again. I couldn't find any more. I couldn't find any soil that day, but I'm using Happy Frog. I'm only using it for seed starting at this point because yeah, it was expensive to me. It was expensive to me, but let us get to sowing seeds. Now, we don't have a lot of seeds that have different ways that they need to be sown, but what I will tell you is that reading the back of your seed packet is important. So like some seed packets don't have much information on them, and then you have other seed packets that have all kinds of information, but it is important to read the packets. I say that because there are seeds that need to be cold stratified, which means they need a period where the seeds are cold. There are seeds that need scarification, and that means you just kind of need to nick the seed. Some seeds do better if you soak them in some water first so that the seeds can get a little bit softer before you plant them in your soil. There are seeds that do better when they have light to germinate. There are seeds that do better when they are in the darkness to germinate. For the most part right now, when we plant these out, only thing these seeds are going to need is some moisture, and they're going to need warmth. And so these will stay in my house for now, and I'm going to show you my seed starting setup. It is very basic. It's actually the same seed starting setup I have been using since I started gardening, or actually starting seeds myself, and I feel like that was more in 2021. The first thing is Snapdragon seeds. Snapdragon seeds are very small, and so I'm only gonna sow 1 tray. I am gonna be a little bit easier than I normally am on dropping these seeds in the tray because they're very small seeds, and in my experience, I have had really good germination with these ones that I've saved, so I just end up with a whole bunch of seedlings that I do not need. With that being said, let us go ahead and plant these Snapdragons. So I'm gonna put them here, but let me show you. I mean, they are teeny tiny, y'all. Can you see that? Very small seeds. And so for me, I'm gonna do my best to try to get no more than like 4. I got 4 on my nail. I doubt y'all can see that. Let me see. If I cover my face, can you see it? I don't know if you can or not. I'm trying to get no more than 4 into each sale tray. And all I'm doing is dropping them right on the top. When you have seeds this small, you really do not need to cover them. I know y'all can't see them seeds falling. But if you see, I'm not making any divots in the soil. I'm simply dropping them on the top of the soil. And then I go back through, and all I'm gonna do is push just like this, so that they have contact with the soil, and then they will start to germinate when they're ready. One thing I am gonna have to do is make sure I come and spray the top of this every day, maybe even more than once. I have to check them because the top has to stay moist because the seed has to stay moist. All right, we got about 6 right here. But either way, it's much better than what I have been doing when it comes to sowing snapdragons. And this is where my nails really come in handy, y'all. They really come in handy. And then we're gonna go right back through, not really moving the soil. I made a mistake in that one. I did not mean to do that. And then we're gonna push them down just to make sure they have contact. Of course, I can't actually see them, but I know they're there. Oh, also, I didn't clean these trays. I didn't feel like it, so I didn't. But I'm making my tags so I know that they're snapdragons. And they are from Save Seed. You know, I almost ordered some seeds, but this year I am really gonna try to use restraint. So in case you're new to gardening, they have these things called seed catalogs. And with that being said, we have the Baker Creek seed catalog here. Companies will send them to you for free so that you can look through them, see if you want to get any new seeds. I personally am not going to try to buy a lot of new seeds. So with those snapdragons, when I saw the only seeds I had were my saved seeds, I was like, darn, I need to order some. And I was like, do you need to order them or do you want to order them? I wanted to order them. So with that being said, I did not order them, y'all. And I'm happy about that. I'm proud of myself for that. So we're gonna move on now to the Godzilla broccoli seeds. And so I'm only gonna plant 6 of these right now. I have about 30 bags available to me to plant for fall. And that's what I'm trying to stick to. Now, if I notice things start to die in early January, I may start more seeds because then I can just replace them in the garden bed. Because I don't plan out for summer until May. So if I put these in February, they have the whole month of February, if I can get them out that early, if we don't have crazy weather. They'll have the whole month of February, March, and April. And when I'm doing this, I am looking at the days to maturity. So like this Godzilla broccoli, days to maturity is 70 days. And so they will get 90 days if I'm able to get these out February the 1st. And when the weather is cold, I say it all the time, the plants grow a little bit slower. So with that being said, I want to give them a little bit of extra time. I also want them to be a good size when I put them outside. Also, why I'm starting them so early. It is my preference. You do not have to do it. So here you can see I've made a little divot and my soil is not moist yet. I'm just gonna moisten it from the bottom. You should moisten your soil first. I say it all the time. I normally never do it. Just so it doesn't displace your seeds and they don't get pushed further down into the soil, things like that. Because if your seed is too far down, it may not germinate. We're actually only planting 1 seed. I know y'all can't believe that because I was a seed math girl. Like I gotta put 2 in case 1 don't come up, or I gotta put 4 and I only want 2, blah, 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 blah. We're putting 1 seed in here. And then if we need to reseed, we will. I am limiting the seeds that I'm planting for spring because while these seeds are still growing, I'm still gonna have to start my seeds for the summer and I don't wanna have just a whole bunch. These though, honestly, will probably go outside in a greenhouse in January. This is broccoli seeds. Pretty much all brassica seeds look just about the same. And so we're gonna drop these down in here and we only doing 1 seed. I can't believe it myself, y'all, but I gotta start using some restraint. This is why I end up with a whole bunch of seedlings and then I'm trying to find somewhere to put them. Now, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna be using restraint in the summer just because I have a lot of space to fill in. This is a smaller planting for me. So that is planted and I'm just gonna go back in and fill that hole in. Just like that. And you have the option to just like sit your seeds on the soil and then put some more soil over top of it. I do that sometimes. It just depends on how I'm feeling. That Godzilla broccoli is now planted. And so I'm not gonna take you through planting all of these, of course, because once you've seen me plant a tiny seed and a medium-sized seed, and then the only other seeds I have is medium-sized seeds, you're just watching me do the same thing over and over again. So I'm gonna get these planted, and then I'm going to show you my seed starting setup downstairs. Oh look, Long Island improved. Sometimes I look to see if I already have tags, and then that way I don't have to rewrite the tag, and for the most part, I can't find a lot of tags in here. Let me get these sown, and then I'm going to come back. We're gonna look at my seed starting setup, and then we're gonna end this video. Literally no point in making it longer than it's got to be. Also, I know inside videos are not as fun as outside videos, but it's just too cold, y'all. It's just too cold. Okay, so I decided to come back real quick before I do my onions and my leeks, because my onions and my leeks, I'm not going to just sow one seed to one sale. I'm going to sow multiple seeds to one sale because onions and leeks don't mind their roots disturbed. So I can grow a cluster and then separate them. And that is the plan here. So I just wanted to show you that. Also, want to show you that I decided we're gonna do 2 green magic. These are the Brussels sprouts. So there's 2 Brussels sprouts in each. We have 1 tray of Godzilla, and then we only planted 3 broccoli rapini and some more green magic. I want more green magic because I've had my most success with green magic broccoli than I want of the other ones. The Godzilla, I want to see how it grows, like if it dies in the fall. And broccoli rapini grows basically like side shoots, so you get a lot off of it. I don't need a whole bunch of those plants. So what I wanted to show you is, like with the leeks and the onions, we're gonna do it the same way. And I've shown this before, but we have new people. So we're gonna put a hole here. I'm thinking I'm gonna drop 4 to 5 into each sale. That way, if I'm doing 4 and we have 6 sales, that's what, 24 plants that I'll get out of this 1 sale tray. And so this is what the seeds look like. And I only wanna get 4 seeds at the most. I said 4 to 5, but I think we're gonna do 4, and we're gonna just drop them all down in there. We're gonna have a random onion somewhere because the seed just kind of popped out. Because if I'm honest, I have no idea where I'm gonna put these onions, but I do know that I want to make sure I have some spring sown onions, because that's gonna be a part of my testing for my backyard and my area. Is it even worth it for me to overwinter my onion? That's my point in this. And does it just make sense to plant the onions that the garden rule says I should plant? And those are not onions. Those were leeks. But anyway, we're gonna cover them back up, and this is how we're gonna do the onions and the leeks. And I love leek and potato soup, hence why I would like a decent amount of leeks. Okay, so we're all done planting our seeds, and we are going to put some water in the bottom of this. Once we get it into the seed starting area, I'm going to spray the snapdragons on the top so I can make sure that they are moist. We ended up taking out 2 because they didn't have anything to go in them, and I don't like to just leave soil without having any seeds in it, because that's where you're going to start to see mold and things like that. What do you call it? The green stuff that's on the top of it. And so I'm just going to try to avoid that. Also nets and things of that nature. So we're about to head down into the laundry room. I'm going to show you my seed starting setup, and I hope that this was a little bit helpful if you're new. I know a lot of people are not new to gardening, and so the information I gave today is not anything that they don't already know, but I like to always share it just because there is always someone new wanting to garden. There's always someone new on my channel, and so that's why I'm sharing it. And then I always just share what I'm doing. Time frames are good for people to know too if they're new. And so right now I'm starting my spring seeds in December. It's actually December the 8th, like I said. So right here is my simple seed starting setup. These are shop lights from Walmart. I did switch the bulbs this year to a higher lumen. I also put the Reynolds wrap up. It was just something I was trying to see. I don't think that it made a difference, but I left it because it was already up here. And then we have our spray bottle. This just has regular water in it, which I'm gonna turn this around. Well, actually, let's just move these. I would like the snapdragons to be closer to the side where I can get to them easily to spray them, because those are things that I'm going to need to spray every day. And so I have a whole bunch of these. What you see up here is not all that I have, because I do use all of the shelves if I need them when I'm starting seeds, and I start most of my seeds in the house. I don't do a lot of direct sowing because I'm just not good at remembering to go and water outside. Although I did really good direct sowing in green stalks this year. But yeah, I don't do a lot of direct sowing. And so we sprayed the snapdragons. We're gonna put some water in the bottom of this, let it soak up from the bottom. Let me show you the bottom. Matter of fact, let me go get another one, hold on. So this is what the bottom of those trays look like. They have a nice hole. These are Bootstrap Farmer trays. And then they have these slits on the side. It helps with air pruning your roots, helps with not having root bound plants. And so this is what they look like. So when I water from the bottom, as long as the soil is touching this hole, it's going to wick it up. And that's why I do water from the bottom when I'm trying to get my soil moist. At the beginning of the plant's life though, I have started to top water with the spray bottle just so that I can make sure that top layer stays moist. There are no roots in the bottom, none of that. But to make sure that the seed has moisture on it right now, we're gonna go ahead first time, let the water wick up, and then every day I'll come down here. So one thing that I do, but it is not necessary for germination, because I don't have my heat vent open down here, it's much colder. And I don't have my heat vent open down here because I have food stored down here. I will turn the lights on. Those are a pretty high lumen light bulb. I will put it on the screen because I don't know from standing right here talking to y'all. So it does give off a little bit of heat. It's LED, and I've seen people say they don't give off heat, but mine do give off some heat. So that will help with germination. Also, to help hold in moisture and humidity, you can use a humidity dome. This is what I'll also put on there. And I'll close the holes until they start to germinate. And that's how you'll get humidity built up in here. And then I will open them if some start to germinate, but we don't have a lot. But eventually, not far after they germinate, I will take this off. If you leave this on, you can end up with leggy seedlings. Humidity will cause leggy seedlings, as well as not enough light will cause leggy seedlings. So that is my setup over here. And it's the same setup I've been using since I started growing seedlings. Other than the lights, I switched to higher lumens this year, but I had been using, I want to say 1600 lumen for all that time. And it works out, and my seedlings grow, and I'm happy with it. So just a closer look at the setup. I do need to wipe these off. If y'all remember, I said my mushrooms had started growing down here, baby. So anyway, that's what we got right here. And then we got our light bulbs and everything in there. So that is the video for today. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. I will do my best to answer them to the best of my ability. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram, where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.